Flower friends, welcome back to another episode of the Field and Garden Podcast. I'm really glad you're here. You know, we're here on the cusp of spring. I mean, it is just busting loose here on my farm at the beginning of April. And you know, that's just so controlled over what type of season we're having. You know, is it a dry, cold spring or a warm, moist spring? And this year I'm feeling like we're in a really great place. We're coming out of winter with the most fantastic cool season, hardy annual garden, you know, my cool flower garden. It's the best we've had in years. And I attribute that primarily to a couple of things. One is, you know, we've downsized our garden from a whopper super-sized, full-fledged half-acre, don't need that many flowers because we don't have staff enough to tend properly to that size, back down to a much smaller, maybe like a quarter acre, and just being much more intentional from only planting the best transplants and tending to them better. And we are just focusing more and being able to take care of the garden better. But that long, cold winter that we had, I felt like was put my cool season hardy annuals to bed for winter, meaning they went dormant and they stayed dormant instead of the up and down spurts of warm spells that we have come to know as a normal winter, at least where I am. I'm here in 8A, southeastern Virginia. So we're having a great season. And friends, here at the Gardener's Workshop, we have so many projects that are just developing and in different stages of completion. And one of said projects has me digging back into 30 years of my journals and something that I'm coming to appreciate so much, and this is what led me to share this with you guys, is all of the media coverage that through the years I've received as I started and built my business and throughout the whole time. I mean, everything from being a city girl, starting a cut flower farm, because that was quite a novelty, and it still is, right? Not many people know about that as a career in business. To how can people grow cut flowers? How can people do it in the city? You know, there's just so many aspects. Anyway, I literally have 2 big boxes of magazines, newspaper articles, and various other things. And the first thing that I've come to reflect on is that how much I love having this paper. I mean, that I can sit and do what I'm doing right now is to just reminisce and look through it and regain and remind myself and go back and restart. But because the last 10 years, you know, we've had equal, if not more, coverage, I guess you could say, on the internet. But who knows where that's floating, right? I mean, you have to go and hunt it up, and it's just not the same. And I'm just sitting in a really happy place right now because of this, which is bringing me to what I want to talk to you about today. And I'm not really going to talk to you. I'm going to read you one of the many articles, and this is a really great one, that was written back when my book, Vegetables Love Flowers, came out. This is in 2018. And I was so over the moon flattered when I was contacted, and my publisher connected me with, there's a magazine that Tractor Supply puts out, and it is called Out Here. And I think it's a free publication you can pick up in Tractor Supply. And the writer contacted me. Her name was Nancy Dorman Hickson. And we just had a delightful interview, and she wrote a really good article. And so it's kind of short, not short, but it's only 2 pages. But I wanted to read it to you because she kind of highlights a lot of what our purpose has been. The name of the article is Restored by Nature. And that's kind of the underlying message that's in my book, Vegetables Love Flowers. It really exemplifies my philosophy to gardening and farming, which started out as gardening that led to farming, of, really leaning into the way the world was made to work. And when we have spent the last, 5 to 6 decades trying to find quicker, faster ways to do things, we have just so screwed up the system. But you can change that in your own little piece of the world. And that's kind of what Vegetables Love Flowers is all about. And flowers play a really important role because they are like the start of it all, right? Pollinators need them. They encourage the beneficial insects. The beneficial insects are the bugs that benefit our garden by doing a lot of stuff, eating the bad guys, just taking care of business. Ground beetles, digesting the organic matter. They also eat soft-bodied like slugs. It's just so deep and wide, y'all. The more when you walk into this world of nature and look at it from how can I help it just create an Eden for me instead of how do I fix stuff, it just changes everything. And I think that Nancy really captured that in this article from 2018. So friends, consider this your little audible article of listening, and I am going to read this to you. It's only 2 pages in the magazine. Restored by Nature by Nancy Dorman Hickson. Photograph courtesy of Lisa Mason Ziegler. And the caption on a really beautiful picture of my niece Kelly and I is, "Flower farmer finds success in environmentally friendly growing methods." And then an additional caption, "Lisa Mason Ziegler cringes every time she sees flowers on a wedding cake. That's because they most likely originated in South America, where some 80% of the cut flower industry is based and where flowers are likely doused in herbicides and pesticides as they grow, then dipped into mildew prevention chemicals before being boxed and shipped to U.S. shores." End of caption. By contrast, Lisa of the Gardener's Workshop in Newport News, Virginia, uses no chemicals, mirroring the environmentally friendly practices of the farm-to-table movement. She is among today's American farmers who grow for local customers. On a 3-acre urban farm surrounded by 200,000 residents, Lisa's beautiful flowers bloom. If you're buying local, you can ask, "What did you use to grow these?" she says. Like local produce, local flowers are also fresher. Flowers that have gone through what I call the retail cycle are already a couple of weeks old when you get them, she says. Local flowers have fragrance, they last longer, and they are more beautiful. When Lisa started her cut flower farm 20 years ago, the idea of organic was rarely considered. Chemicals seemed a quick and easy fix for pests and weeds, so that's what she used. As her business grew and she struggled to keep up, she feared she was neglecting her flowers when she didn't keep them sprayed with chemicals. To her amazement, however, those unsprayed flowers were thriving. Nature started to restore my garden, she says. She stopped using chemicals, even those labeled organic, to avoid harming pollinators and what she calls good guys in the garden. You start figuring out how you can help nature instead of interfering, she explains. Nature's most powerful pest control and pollinators are all attracted to flowers. That's part of the message she shares at some 60 presentations yearly. She also wrote 3 how-to garden books, including her latest, Vegetables Love Flowers, in which she shares her organic gardening practices and how to grow a cutting garden. At first I thought, oh gosh, I need to have some super duper duper secret thing to tell them. Lisa says about her readers and the hundreds of groups she's addressed. But people are just looking for the basics. Organic gardening is simple. You plant the right plant in the right place at the right time. Basics are best. One mistake people make is choosing flowers that are difficult to grow. People think flower farmers spend a lot of time fussing over flowers, she says. We don't have time, she chuckles and adds. If you are a struggling plant on this farm, we'll mow you in a minute. Instead, her farm focuses on growing basic garden flowers, ones not easily imported from seed. Lisa's top sellers are sunflowers, zinnias, coxcomb, lisianthus, and celosia plumes. She harvests thousands of weekly stems from May through September, which are sold at farmers markets, florists, businesses, and to individuals who subscribe to a bouquet drop-off service or to a members-only on-farm market club. Natural gardening is simpler, easier, and far less expensive than farming with chemicals, she says. Your garden is better with each passing season if you truly take care of the environment and get your soil healthier and full of life, she says. The plants just start to take care of themselves and grow more abundantly. And then it adds a little garden tip list at the bottom. Lisa Mason Ziegler's garden tips. Start small, perhaps with a 3x10 cutting garden. People begin a big garden and get overwhelmed and quit. Observe the plant's need for sun or shade. Many people try to grow a flower they want to grow in the spot they have instead of finding what grows best in that spot. That was a really good one. Get your soil in shape. If your garden is struggling, I can almost promise you, you are standing on the problem. The soil is the most important thing in your garden. Steer clear of needy plants. Learn garden basics. Then you can try more difficult things. Mulch to prevent weeds. Mulching right after you've disturbed the soil prevents weed seeds from getting the sunlight they need to sprout. End of tips. And then she has a little text box that says dig deeper. Get more information at thegardenersworkshop.com. And to find a local grower near you, visit localflowers.org, sponsored by the Association of Specialty Cut Flower Growers. So that's the end of the article. I just thought that this was just a great overview, particularly for somebody wondering about growing cut flowers or how to get started, I just thought she did a really great job. And this is a great time of the year to take a look at this because so many of us are just charging outside right now. And our dreams are big. It's kind of like filling your plate with more food than you can eat, right? Our eyeballs are planning and our minds are planning a much larger garden than we can actually take care of, maintain, because you want to know what the bottom line reality for me anyway, and I feel like this applies to so many people. We just don't have a lot of time in this busy time of life. While we would love to say, by golly, I'm going to spend an hour every night, evening, tending my garden and doing what needs to happen, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for me anyway. Stuff comes up. Life is full, people interfere, then you have family, and then there's just stuff to do. And, if there's just a takeaway from living what I'm living right now, experiencing how great our garden is right now, Bobo and I feel like, and if you don't know Bobo, if you're new here, Bobo has worked here with me on the farm for about 15 years. And she is an amazingly talented flower arranger, which is how we met. She used to buy flowers from me. but she is a hustler. She's a grower at heart. And while we both relished high production years and just growing masses of flowers, we're now in this different season where when I say slow down, I don't mean we're not working as much. We're just doing different work. We're able, it's like right now, you'd be hard pressed to find a weed out in our cool flower garden because she's able to focus on that and to stay on top of it. The garden's netted. Where we had one particular crop, Carthamus, which is safflower, that we had some winter die, we've been able to restart them, replant them, get them in there, do it on time so that it's in tune with the rest of the garden. It's just so much better. And you know what it is all a result of? Going smaller, y'all, which is just such a surprise. And it's as big a surprise as going pesticide free. That is perhaps the most intense questions that I get. What do you do about the bugs? Well, the bugs are a good thing. We don't realize it, but like 90%, if not more, and I'd be willing to say probably I think it's actually 99% of all the insects in the world, and there are hundreds of thousands, 99% of them are actually beneficial to some way, somehow in this chain of life that we have. There's only 1% that actually kill and damage flowers. And I think of, it's like, how can that be? It's like, the bad bugs are balanced by the good bugs. Also, and it's not just about that, it's also about what you grow, how you grow it. When you grow healthy plants, they are more resistant to pests and diseases. They aren't struggling. That's exactly what diseases and pests are looking for. The red flags of those plants that, are not on their best game. So it's more than what we think. And I will say that that's really the heart of my book, Vegetables Love Flowers. That book is not really, it was a way of potentially introducing to vegetable gardeners why they need to grow flowers in their vegetable patch, the benefits of it. And it's not about that companion planting of plant this flower to prevent this bug from getting on that flower. It's not like that at all. It's bigger than that, y'all. It's a wider view of your garden. And when I came across this article in this Out Here by Tractor Supply, I don't even know if they still do this. I just thought, what a great topic to talk about right now, because by you starting small, controlling your impulses and going small is going to lead you to being more successful. And then you can decide, am I going to conquer more, right? So friends, I hope this is helpful. And remember that this podcast is made possible by thegardenersworkshop.com. And friends, I want to really encourage you to drop in, and I'm sure Jesse will put it in the show notes, to sign up for our farm news, because it'll keep you in the loop. And when I say we have so many resources, that's what they ultimately are all about, ways to help you garden and farm better, easier, and more successfully coming down the pike. And you want to stay on it. And we've just announced our annual open farm, which is a free public event that only happens once a year, rain or shine. And that's where you'll find more information about that. And so, my friends, I am heading into this beautiful Saturday. We're already cutting flowers here on my farm. It's April, the beginning of April. And I am knee deep in Iceland poppies and calendula and cerinthe, all those cool season hardy annuals that I got to plant in fall, because I figured out when I plant which flowers. And did you know you can do that too? My big calendar journal, which is really, it says calendar first, and it's a big calendar. It's 20 inches by 30 inches. But the calendar part is, it allows you to figure out, but to notate what your custom seed starting and planting plan is for your garden. And you do it in such a way that it becomes an amazing journal, which is part of what I've been looking back on. It's an any year calendar. That means it doesn't have the dates and written in so you can start or stop it at any month, but it includes my cut flower seed starting and planting guide. And it guides you through 9 planting windows. And it includes a video workshop of me walking you through those 9 windows, of filling out your calendar to create your own custom growing plan. And you can find that available at thegardenersworkshop.com. It's $39.95 plus shipping, and it will change your gardening and farming world on how to succession plant and to do it in a way to have blooms all season long and to spread out the work. And it's what created me into the grower that I am. And I loved making that resource for you. All right, my friends, until we meet again, ciao.